Cool. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. This your boy NarikChase. And in this video, we're going to be doing another head-to-head. And in this one, I don't know what number it is right now, but it's whatever number it is right now. And I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all I'm going to be doing one of the videos that I've been wanting to do it for quite some time, and it's going to be Fallout 3 versus Fallout New Vegas. Now, a lot of people have come up with this concept and done videos on it, but this is the NarikChase channel, so it's time for NarikChase to go ahead and do his thing, put his spin on things. Now, guys, go ahead and hit that like button while you're here, so we can go ahead and start sharing this and get more people in on the action, and not wanting to be selfish and everything. Let's go ahead and do that. Share the wealth, share the good stuff. Anyways, guys, let's go ahead and get into it. Now, Fallout 3 came out in 2008, and I think Fallout New Vegas came out in 2010, and Fallout, everybody knows what the Fallout series is. It's a post-apocalyptic after the nuclear war takes place. After the nuclear war, 200 years later, and each game does feature a different story, but they're all sharing the same universe. Bethesda ended up developing Fallout 3, and Obsidian ended up developing Fallout New Vegas. Now, there's a lot of these games do have a lot in common, and there's some things that one does better than the other. So let's go ahead and get into this now, and we're going to grade it by a few categories. First, to start with the story. In terms of the story, I think more on the I think Fallout 3 ends up taking this, because I believe Fallout 3 takes it in terms of the story. Now, the two do have really unique stories and interesting stories. In Fallout 3, we do see this Fallout dweller who you end up playing as, going into the wasteland to search for their father, and of course end up coming to a much bigger conflict, where it's this war between the Brotherhood still and the Enclave. And this interesting story was its shared twists and turns. And then we have Fallout New Vegas. And on the Fallout New Vegas side, there is the story of this courier who at the beginning of the game is left for dead after being robbed. And really the quest is he's going to find out who did it and why they did it. And then, of course, he ends up coming to this really big conflict between the NCR and the Legion, Kaiser's Legion. So they're both sides of the coin end up having really interesting stories. But there are some twists and turns in each one of them. But I believe due to the emotional aspect that was introduced in the Fallout 3, I believe Fallout 3 definitely. I believe no. This is kind of an interesting one, because you know what? I said Fallout 3 took this one. I'm actually going to give it to New Vegas. And let me tell you why. Because even though Fallout 3 has, I believe, a more emotionally impactful story, because it is about this, this person trying to find a father. I think this a whole setup and story around New Vegas is much more in depth, especially when you're going towards the various side missions. They all do feel like they're one cohesive story. A lot of the things that you do find out, hell, the DLC even fits into it. All the DLC actually feed into the Fallout New Vegas story. So I said Fallout 3 in my notes, but I'm going to say Fallout New Vegas has a better story. Now, in terms of the setting, definitely the open world aspect of the game, I would definitely give that to Fallout 3. And let me tell you why. Because in Fallout 3, we are in Washington, D.C., and the ruins and stuff. And whereas in New Vegas, we're in the Mojave. Now, the Mojave is basically a desert, and it's an expansive desert, yes. But there is a lot. There's a lot of, in that expansion, there's a lot. It just feels kind of flat in a lot of aspects. You know how you have a big open area, and it's cool, you get to run around and stuff, but there's not much to do. And I think Fallout New Vegas kind of feels that way. It feels really, even though it's expensive, it feels kind of empty. There are a lot of great locations, don't get me wrong, but there are a lot of buildings you can't go into. There are not a lot of tunnels. Yeah. And like a bunch of tunnels and things you can go high. Whereas I will say that Fallout 3 does have a better open world setting. The Wasteland seems like it's a lot better. There's a lot more access to different locations, such as buildings and tunnels and stuff like that. Just a lot of really interesting locations. So I believe the setting, like with the buildings and stuff, because think about it, when you go to New Vegas and Freeside and all of that stuff, it's cool, but it's a lot of things you just can't get into. You know, what I mean, it's a lot of buildings you can't really get into. But when you go into the DC ruins, there's the underground. Granted, Freeside has an underground as well, but there's underground tunnels, metro tunnels that run all through underground under the DC ruins, which is already pretty big. Then you got the DC ruins themselves, big expanded sections, buildings you can explore. So there is a lot in Fallout 3 setting that is just, yes, when you go into the desert, the wasteland, yes, it's pretty expensive, but there are a lot of really interesting locations. But especially if we want to get focused more on the actual, like, cities, towns, or whatever. I think when it comes to that definitely there were more interesting towns in Fallout 3 as well. And as I said, the DC ruins are expansive. There are a lot of big sections in it. There are a lot of tunnels to explore. You could potentially get lost in the damn game, but you don't have a damn map. So there is that. Fallout 3 in terms of the setting does feel like it has a bit more to it. So there is that. Now, in terms of the actual gameplay, we're going to give this to Fallout New Vegas. Now, Fallout New Vegas does feature the same gameplay, the same system that Fallout 3 does, but it does have its share of refinements. Let's like hands down. I mean, think about it. You have a much more in-depth interactions with the weaponry, such as different ammo types, different weapon types, mods, the damage threshold, customization of the weapons. So there is a lot more giving into the gameplay of the Fallout New Vegas. It's a lot more refined. It feels sharper. The controls themselves do handle a bit better. Now, like perks and stuff, even with that perks and stuff, I believe Fallout 3's perk system is better because you get a perk per level, whereas New Vegas you get a perk every 2 levels, and I think that's cool, and I think it does feed into the more RPG-ish types where you can't in Fallout 3 you go to God mode because you got all of these freaking perks, whereas in New Vegas, you got to be a little bit more strategic. So that there is interesting concept on that one as well. But in all honesty, the gameplay in Fallout New Vegas is a bit better. Yes, there are like still loading screen issues and glitches. They still share those same quite a bit of problems, but but New Vegas does have a better system overall. Okay, let's talk about the companions. Now, I actually, in my notes, I wrote New Vegas had better companions, but this might be one of those categories where they're kind of slightly, they're, they're on the same playing field. I should say just both. I think they both have really interesting companions. I think they both have really interesting. Now, I will say New Vegas does have a bit more of a notch on its belt because the companions actually come with perks, whereas in Fallout 3, I don't believe they did. I don't remember. They didn't. But in terms of actual personality and backstory and interactions like that, I think that the companions are pretty much the same. Now, the interactions with the companions, New Vegas did it better. The little wheel, companion wheel thing was a lot more efficient when communicating instructions, when you're trying to talk to them, just basic interactions altogether. I think it worked a lot better. So in terms of the actual quality of the companions, I would say both. But in terms of actual gameplay with the companions, I would say New Vegas does take this one as well. Now, the faction and karma system is another interesting aspect that I can say that both games do share similarities. They do have the ups and they do have their downs. Now, in terms of the Fallout 3 game, the ups will be this. The karma system is if you do good things, you get good karma. If you do bad things, you get bad karma, and you do men, you get men karma, neutral karma. But your karma system did affect the way other people viewed you. If you did too much good, then talent company mercs will try to kill you. If you did too much bad, then these weird rangers will try to come and kill you. Whereas, kind of like in the faction system in New Vegas. Whereas if you end up working for like the Legion or something, NCR Rangers will come and hunt you. And if you got on the Legion's bad side, Legionnaires will come and hunt you. But the biggest difference is the karma system in Fallout 3 is pretty solid for the most part. Whereas the karma slash faction system, you can basically be friends with pretty much any of the factions. Whatever you do with one faction doesn't affect the way the other factions do view you. So that there is that dynamic, and it's a great dynamic. I wish that Fallout 3 was a little bit more between. Okay, if you did a lot of stuff with the Enclave, the Brotherhood kind of looked bad at you. I looked at you, looked down on you, and if you did good with the Brotherhood, the Enclave looked down on you, as well as if you did good with the Outcast, the Brotherhood kind of looked down at you. It's like so as far as the karma system in Fallout 3, I think it rivals the faction system in New Vegas. However, I would say the New Vegas faction system is more diverse because each gameplay you can change up the gameplay every single time you play. Really, if you're going to play Fallout 3, that you play it as neutral, good or bad. Whereas in New Vegas, you can be independent, you can be with Mr. House, you can be with the NCR, you can be with the Legion, but while you're with those four factions, you can interact with the Great Khans, the Fiends, the Boomers, the powder gangers, so there's an interesting dynamic between these two. But I would say for the karma system and the faction system, I would say they both take it on this one. They both get their check mark on this one, but on the simple for the fact that they have two different systems. Characters and creatures. I would say that New Vegas takes this one only because really, New Vegas does have. I think it's. I think in terms of characters and creatures, it's a bit. I think both of them. I know I put New Vegas, but I think both of them because they both have really interesting characters, a world of interesting characters. But I do think that New Vegas characters are slightly more interactive. But they do have a shit ton of interesting characters, not including the companions. The creatures are really badass. I really like the geckos. I really like death claws. I really like the cazadors, which are fucking most annoying creatures in the game. But I really like them. They're really quite a bit of a challenge. But if we go and look on the side of Fallout 3, Fallout 3 has the Yagway Bears. Again, death claws. The Mirelurks. The Mirelurks are some of the most badass creatures in video games. But like they have their share of interesting characters: Jericho, Sarah Lion, Riley's Rangers. I really enjoy those characters. Three Dog. There's and if you go to New Vegas, you got House, you got Kaiser, you got those Rangers. They're the Sniper Rangers. They were really cool. Boomers. Sunny Smiles, one of my favorite characters. Again, Fallout 3. What was the girl that was in Tranquility Lane? That was actually a guy, Dr. Lee. Just in terms of the characters and creatures, I know I said New Vegas, but honestly, both of these games just both of these games have it. Both of these games just completely take it because both of them have interesting characters. They have interesting side stories. They have interesting backstories. The creatures are great. They're challenging. Now, I think the reason why I did put the Fallout New Vegas as a little bit of a notch more is because of like the legendary creatures that are featured. Because every faction of creatures. Oh, don't let me forget the Night King and the damn what's the little viper thing? Just like a coyote mixed with a snake, whatever that thing is. A night stalker, yeah, night stalkers and bighorners and giant praying mantis. I think the reason why I went with Fallout New Vegas, I think they had a few more actual creatures than Fallout 3, but but I think it's because of the legendaries, because each creature type had a legendary somewhere in the game. You had to find that, especially the Death Claw. Them Death Claws had those fucking the alpha males and the females and stuff, and I was like, damn, those motherfuckers is hard. Oh, and another thing that I think New Vegas did better too was they showed like maturity levels to the creatures. So there'd be like there'd be like adult creatures, and there'd be like infant baby creatures, and there'd be like youngling creatures. So I think that was the reason why New Vegas. So yeah, let me go back and change that and say yes, New Vegas does take it in this category. Sorry, Fallout 3, but I like that level of detail because it does flesh out the world, and it doesn't make these creatures feel one-dimensional. And it's pretty cool when you sit there and you're playing the game. You're going to go destroy the shot this Death Claw, and then you see like these baby Death Claws. You kind of feel some type of way. It's a bit more diversity in terms of the actual. Because even look at the blind Death Claws. So there's a bit more to it than that. So yes, I'll go ahead and say New Vegas. Go ahead and takes the cake. In terms of the missions, let me see what I wrote here. Me personally, what I write? While Fallout 3 has some unique missions, New Vegas just has better ones with more importance to this actual setting and overall story. I think that yes, in terms of the missions, I'm kind of on the fence. Even though I did write there, I'm kind of on the fence because I think both of them did have really interesting missions and really memorable missions at that. Like they had some really cool side missions as well, little side stories that was going on to be initiated. So I know I wrote Fallout 3. I don't. It's, I think there's more. I think there's it. Fallout 3 had more interesting, unique, memorable missions. I mean, come on, Tranquility Lane was like fucking awesome. You had the missions with the vampires and air food. You had the mission where you go to this small little town, these motherfuckers are cannibals and stuff like that. So, yeah, what was the one mission you had to find out if this guy was a synthetic? That was pretty awesome as well. So you had the option to blow up Megaton. That was an interesting mission. You know what I mean? But I think yes, that even though Fallout 3 does seem to have more unique missions, that New Vegas definitely has more missions that's geared around the story and the setting, and it just kind of gives the story and setting more of a cohesive feel. So I would say New Vegas takes this. In terms of the actual graphics, they're the same. The games are freaking same in terms to voice, then the lip syncing and stuff like that, animation of the characters, the actual details to the actual environment. All of that's just pretty much the same. There's no difference. The only difference is the tone. It does feel like New Vegas has a lighter tone due to it being in the desert, whereas 3 has a darker tones in the wasteland. And the wasteland was actually feels like it was hitting more with like nuclear bombs, so it has more of like a post-apocalyptic look to it. Whereas in the Mojave Desert, it looks more like an actual desert. Just and overall settings too. Um, they have totally different settings as well. So there is that. There's that to be factored into. The creatures do have a lot of great depth. I would say that perhaps New Vegas has a little bit more depth, but not much. So there is that. Both of them are on equal footing. When it comes to the vaults, which has more interesting vaults, Fallout 3 definitely takes the cake. Even though in one vault in New Vegas you have the fiends are in one of the vaults. You have that one vault which was really cool, the one with the plants, the killer plants and stuff. I think that vault was fucking awesome. But 3 takes it. They have the one with the Mirelurks in it, the flooded one. There's the one with the super mutants in it. There's one with all the Garys in it. There's one where you're like hallucinating because of the music and stuff. Is either the music that was making you hallucinate or this gas that was released that makes you hallucinate. Fallout 3 just takes it. takes it, especially when you start the game off in a damn vault. So Fallout 3 definitely takes it. The music, both of the games have really unique and great musical compositions that fit their that just fit them for what they are, and I think they completely work. They're very memorable as well. I like that New Vegas does have more of this like western feel to it, and I think that just makes it feel makes it feel really unique, especially given the desert type setting. Whereas when you look at the Capital Wasteland, it does feel more like this wastelandish, very lonesome feeling, isolated feel to it in terms of the music, and of course battle music and things like that do feature, as well as what you hear on the radio, which honestly is really good. However you just, what I'm saying, however you do it, however you split it or whatever, I think it just works. Um, and lastly, we're going to say the DLC. Now, I said both initially, but I'm going to correct that because I will say New Vegas has better DLC, and this is why. New Vegas DLC not only feels uh, tells a better story overall, but it also feels like it supports the world, the setting, and the characters and creatures within the New Vegas setting. And that's why I would give it to New Vegas, because every one of these DLC tells a story, and the story not only tells the story of the DLC, but it also tells the story of what about the New Vegas setting. One DLC explains where the Cazadors come from, as well as the Night Stalkers. Characters that were in one DLC, such as Ulysses, who was an awesome character, was being supported by other DLC, as well as other interesting characters, both in the DLC and the actual world. Kaiser's Legion, one of the DLC, even two of the DLC actually feeds into the Kaiser Legion and stuff like that. One even personalizes the courier to a certain extent. So, in terms of the actual DLC, I would say New Vegas take it. Yes, Fallout 3 has really good DLC. Who can forget Point Lookout? The Pit. Both of those were freaking awesome. I did like Mothership Zeta, but I feel like it didn't really do anything, didn't tell a story, and there wasn't really anything new to it, but it was a really interesting. I still have yet to play the damn Anchorage one. Man, I got the motherfucker, I just hadn't played it. But Operation Anchorage, but I do need to stop that and play that damn DLC. But the Lonesome Roan, Honest Hearts, I think all of them just tell a really unique and interesting story. And Dead Money is actually probably my favorite one out of all of them, next to uh, the Lonesome Road, because and also the DLC, as far as the DLC is concerned, I will say the best one would be from the Fallout 3, which is going to be Point Lookout, which is the biggest expansive DLC out of all of them. But I really did like the Divide and the Lonesome Road. In the Lonesome Road, the vibe was badass. So I really appreciated that one. I did like Honest Hearts, um, and I can't remember the rest of the damn, what was it? Old World Blues. There's one more, I can't remember it. But in terms of actual story, I think the story of the four from New Vegas is just tells a better story, and it helps just establish what we know and what we love about the New Vegas setting and story. Um, so if pretty much between Fallout 3 and New Vegas, I think New Vegas takes it by about 2 or 3 points. Look, both games are awesome, and you're not missing anything. If you don't play these games, I don't know what the fuck wrong with you. Play these damn games. Games are freaking awesome. I would start with Fallout 3 because it is the basic model, and then go on to New Vegas because it does improve on a lot of aspects. But you won't be wasting your time playing either one of these games. So, all right then, guys. This will be the end of this episode of Head to Head. In the comment section below, let me know what are your thoughts about this video, Fallout 3 versus Fallout New Vegas. Which one of these games you think is actually better, and tell me why also. And be sure to hit that like, share, subscribe, and that notification button, because they definitely help the channel out and definitely help the channel to grow. And we'll definitely catch you guys later. Narik is out.